Did you grow up playing Risk? Or maybe you were a little hardcore and you got into Axes and Allies. Maybe you remember those old school days of Stratego with those 2 pawns. Who knows what they were for? I never quite figured it out. But now you're grown and you're looking to play those big boy and big girl strategy board games. Where to turn? Don't worry, I got you. Howdy and welcome back. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude, and these are the best strategy board games for adults. Absolutely and certainly declared by me and myself. My word is indisputable. Actually, it's quite disputable. But anyway, back to it. But before, of course, we can play these board games, we need to have a place to get them, which brings us to the sponsor for today's video. Today's sponsor is Cape Fear Games. They are located on the east coast of the United States. That's right, Cape Fear, which is actually Wilmington, North Carolina. If you're ever in that area, absolutely check them out. They're my local game store. They've got all the stuff you need. They've got a whole section just on strategy board games, as well as all your other stuff, your trading card games, your cooperative games, your party games, card games, free to play and borrow library with hundreds of games. You've got a used game market. You've got disc golf for some reason. And I always find it entertaining when I go by the disc golf area. There's always some like big muscle dude. And then there's me like looking in the board games with my little glasses on. And I'm not insecure. But anyway, check them out. If you're interested in any of the games listed in this video, click the link in the description or the pinned comment, as long as I remember to do it. And 95% of the time exactly, I remember to do that. And if you use this code BOARDGAMES1, all one word, you can get 20% off your order. Would you like to get straight to the best strategy board games for you? Rurik Dawn of Kiev takes us through history. That's right, this is a strategy board game which usually lines up well with history, taking us all the way into what I believe is now Ukraine, but right around the 10th century. Don't take any of this as absolute gospel, please. Oh my goodness, it was Vladimir the Great, I'm going by my notes here, Vladimir the Great ended up reuniting a lot of Kievan Rus, I hope I'm saying that right, which had been dispersed earlier by the Mongols. But anyway, he brought them all back together. Awesome! Then he had a bunch of sons and daughters. And what did they want? Well, they wanted to become the next great leader. And that led to great warfare and our wonderful, lovely game, Rurik Dawn of Kiev, where you play as one of the princes or princesses with the historical names and all of that to try to gain dominance as the most dominant child and the successor to the throne. I hope I got that right. This is published by Peacekeeper Games. It is, I know it's designed by Stanislav Kordonsky, also known as the Stan Kordonsky. And where's the artist? Really? Cute illustrations. We've got Finn Mikavinci as the first name among several. I picked this for strategy because it is not too hard to learn, but this is still a hobby game. You're going to spend some time learning it. It comes with a fantastic solo mode, but the key in its strategy is hard choices, where you can either have a really strong action that you have to take late or an early action that is kind of weak. All right, now this is deceptively simple, but man, it gets complicated. Only 4 rounds to this game. And you can see the lovely map here. Every character gets to pick a leader, and each leader has their own lovely card with an asymmetrical special ability. But much of the game actually happens right here. This is during the strategy phase, the first phase of every round. You are going to start out with a certain number of advisors. You can gain more later, and what you do is you place one of your advisors on the space that you want to take the action for during the next action phase. You see there's numbers, right? That's called power during this. So I'm going to decide that I want to move. So I'm putting little dude there. But then big scary dude comes, is like, no, I want to go there too. Biggest number goes on top. See, the benefits are more the higher up you are. And you just keep going like this, placing your dudes wherever you would like. And your opponent doing the same. You can bribe as well to make your number more powerful if you really want to. But money's hard to come by, so be careful. Now that we've strategized, we go to the action phase, and these numbers still matter, but now they're called initiative, and everything is flipped upside down on its head. That's right. So the lowest number goes first. So if the opponent's playing yellow, number 1 goes first. They carry out the action. They get to do 1 attack, and then that advisor's done. Then you take your action, your lowest one. That's going to be moved 2 spaces, and you're going to remove that. So on and so on through all the different things. Muster lets you put troops onto the board. Tax lets you gain resources from the board. Building lets you place buildings on the board, and scheming lets you scheme and get these cool scheme cards with abilities that you can use at other times. You're trying to gain dominance of certain areas to meet objectives and just have the most control, as well as be able to tax and gain whatever resources in that land. But you can also battle. So if these 3 dudes want to move down here and fight these 2 rebels, we outnumber. There's no scheme cards played because they're rebels. The rebels are these ones as opposed to players, which are these ones. Whatever. Anyway, get rid of one of them. However, you have to draw intrigue cards, and you may get a casualty, which would force you to remove one of yours from the game as well. Or not from the game, just back to your reserve. They go outside, all right? Time out. When you gain resources from taxing and otherwise, the cool thing is you get to place them on your player board. The player board has spaces, so if I got a fish, I could put a fish right there. Or if I don't want to put it in my boat, I can put as many things as I want onto the dock. But the cool thing is, if I fill up a whole column, I'm getting in the weeds again. This is what I do. Then, before the round ends, during the whole income phase, you're going to gain 1 income, 1 coin, for every completed column. All right, whatever, enough of that. You can also always exchange resources. You've got these fun little tiles here that you can use once each round. Just make the trade, flip it over. It gets refreshed next round. Don't panic. Or do panic. I'm alone! And go find your buddies and outnumber them. I'm alone now. All right, we're getting out of control. After you take all your actions, you get to go to the claim phase, okay? This is where there's like hidden objectives and things that you're going to try to complete, so try to do those. There are deeds as well. Try to complete whatever task is on the deed to gain the special bonuses. Point of the game is to have the most points at the end. So in the claims phase, you get to move your markers up based on what you did. Each time you win a battle, you go up a space here. Boom, boom, which is super cool. So if you're in first place on this track, congratulations. You get those victory points. Second place, of course, gets that. But you're also going to move up. Like, do you control 2 regions? You move up. Do you control 3 regions? You move up. You can see the victory points over here for it. Or let's say you have buildings on adjacent regions. Move up as you can. And as far as trading, how many goods you have on the boat, you get points for that. Your goal is to go up. 4 rounds of this gets incredibly complex. It is such a fun brain burner. It is one of the best games in my collection. All right, AI opponent, flip over the card. I know it looks like a lot. It's priority order just like the others. It's going to tell you what to do. Do the thing. Dawn of Kiev. And the big boy box tournament game, SETI, also known as Scythe. This is one of Jamie, if not his first design. I'm not sure, but it's designed by Jamie Stegmaier. The art is by Jacob, how do you say it? Jacob Rosalski. That's right. And Jacob Rosalski also did the world building, because the story of Scythe is it takes us back to World War I, the 1920s, but kind of a parallel universe where things turned out differently. And there was this capitalistic city-state, the factory in the middle of Europe, that was producing all kinds of machinery and stuff, I guess, and then they closed their doors. What is happening? So you play as these different nations or city-states, something like that, surrounding the factory, trying to expand your influence or even get to the factory to find out what's going on. The story continues into several expansions, culminating in the rise of Fenris, which is absolutely fantastic in my personal opinion. Many don't like it because it takes the game and turns it into a sandbox. So we're only going to talk about the base game for this. Did I mention Rurik Dawn of Kiev was 1 to 4 players? Scythe is 1 to 5 players. If you get expansions, you can expand it to 6. I don't know why on earth you would. That would be miserable, but you can. Solo mode introduces the Automa Factory, which is a signature of Stonemaier Games, the publisher of Scythe, Jamie Stegmaier's company, but it uses an AI deck similar to what's used in Rurik Dawn of Kiev to guide your AI opponent. I chose this because your strategy often involves avoiding conflict wherever possible. So you may only have 1 conflict in the game. You might have 2 or 3, rarely more than that, but really it's a battle of attrition. It is a Cold War. Let's get an overview. Oh yeah, all these games you're going to see are going to run between, I would say, $45 to $70. At the end of the day, Scythe is all about completing objectives on your board. You're going to have a leader and mechs and little workers, really adorable, collecting resources. But each time you complete an objective, you get a little star that you put on the board. Once a player places their 6th star, the end of the game is triggered. Objectives include things like placing buildings or placing mechs out in the field, placing workers. You've got these private objectives that you complete. They come from winning battles, pew pew pew, gaining max popularity, and also having the most combat power. But placing the 6th star doesn't mean that you win. The person that wins is the person with the most money. So at the end of the game, you all count up your money, and you earn money from things like controlling territories, completing objectives, being popular and beautiful, and then a common objective that is randomly changed every game. Alright, so every player has a leader, and they all have like a character and a pet, so the world building in this game is just fantastic. Absolutely love it. But these start out covered by mechs, boop, so when you place a mech on the field, you get new abilities. There are also upgrade bonuses that you gain over here. It's asymmetrical, so every leader's got something different. You can do things like upgrade technologies, which means you move a cube from the top to the bottom. What that means is the top action just got stronger, the bottom action just got cheaper. But combat's determined by power, so you're going to gain power throughout the game. Say I have 10 power, and then I'm secretly going to bid how much power I'm going to use in this combat. So let's say I have 10 power, but I only want to spend 5. Okay, I'm going to secretly pick that. My opponent's going to do the same. We're going to reveal it. Boom, boom, pow, cool. I hope I got this in the right order. Then you also, whoever has the highest amount bid is the one that wins that combat. The loser has to send their player pieces back to their base, and the winner completes an objective, and they keep the territory. But anyway, you can also play a combat card, so you get to flip over 1, reveal it, and that adds 2 more power, so now it'd be 7. Now the opponent gets to do the same thing, and may the best man win. Place workers to develop resources. You get to explore, so if you ever move your leader, which really, crossing rivers is a real challenge in this. You got to place a mech before you can do that. But let's say we did it. Move here, exploration token, take it, way! And then you get to take an exploration card, which is super cool, and it's going to have a few different benefits that you get to pick from. Some of them are going to have a cost. You have to pay it to do it. The solo game has an Automa deck, so these are the cheat sheets. I know, right? Yeah. Anyway, this is the actual deck, so you're going to flip these over, and it's going to tell you what the Automa is going to do. You just learn to read, do the thing, bam. And there are various automas that you get to choose from easy to very hard. It is not the easiest solo opponent to learn. It's good training if you want to play more games like this with an AI opponent that does area control, but it's incredibly well designed, one of the best. Bye-bye. That's right. Say hi to all your fans. Little baby Harley loves his strategy games too. Say hi. That's right. You're so happy. Oh, little potato. Now this one I'm quite excited for. It is still on my table right now, and I'm still getting used to the game, but I've got to include it because I'm impressed already. Undaunted 2200 Callisto. That's right, this is a sci-fi 2-player versus game, but it's 1 to 2 players. Lies! It said Undaunted, which made me think 2-player. It is 1 to 4 players. That's right, it comes with a solo AI bot designed by David Turchi and David Digby. I don't know his name yet, so that's exciting, but they did the solo mode. The designers of the game are, the ones in the biggest letters, David Thompson and Trevor Benjamin. That's right, we've got our illustrations, Roland McDonald, and this is Osprey Games as the publisher. This takes us into the future, in space, with mechs and all that stuff, where you're on guess what? A mining colony. That's right, on a planet, super lucrative. And you've got the LFA. They're like the security forces that are in an agreement with the miners working on the planet that seem to benefit both, except it seems to be leaning more and more in favor of the LFA. So the miners have started protesting, and now it's breaking out into a full-on rebellion. You get to choose. Will you play as the LFA and try to suppress the rebellion, or will you play as the miners, or I believe they're called the breakers, and fight for the rebellion? I picked this because of a special moment in every round where you have a secret bidding. If you win the bid, you gain initiative or the right to act first. And of course, if you lose the bid, you lose a card. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's look at an overview. Whoa, you know what? This is a great time for. If you would like to support this channel for free, please click that like button. Also subscribe to see more and more of this nonsense and recommendations for fantastic games. Even more exciting is when you talk to me in the comments. What do you think of these games? What would you add or take away? Undaunted Callisto is a super cool face-off. So of course you're going to pick to play as the Breakers over here, you know, the Rebels, or the Evil Corporation, the LFA, the Security Force, trying to maintain control, whatever. You start out each round with a bid. It's pretty fun. So you have a secret thing where you put a card face down, you flip them at the same time, and this determines initiative, right? So the higher the number, that's the one that gets to go first. So you just get to go first. That's all you win. And then you discard those and move on. So in this case, LFA wins the bid. During their turn, they get to play all their cards, or they can put them to the side to use them later. But usually you're just going to be playing all your cards for whatever abilities. We're not going to cover all of them, but basically you can do things like you can move in order to scout a new area that allows you to move more places, or you can secure certain areas, or I think it's control. Yeah, you gain control, and that helps you win objectives. Or you can take actions to add cool cards to your hand, or clean it out and get rid of cards that you don't want. And then, of course, you can attack opponents. And the cool thing is this game doesn't make you do line of sight or anything like that. It's just basically, if you can see them, you can attack them. Certain units do have certain range limits where they'll be like, you can only attack in the same space or the next space. But for the most part, you don't have to worry about line of sight. If there's a door, you can't shoot through that. You got to get in the room. So that's fine thematically, you know? But the cool thing is this game actually has elevation. So if you are on the higher ground, you get to roll advantage dice. Whee! If you are on the low ground, boo, you roll the disadvantage dice. Even though they're the prettiest, whatever, it's bad news. If you're on level ground, it's super boring and you roll the normal dice. Who wants to be normal? Be different. Cool thing is, whenever you beat any unit, you make them get rid of a matching card from their hand. We're going to pretend this one is matching, because you get the point. Or, in some cases, it will allow you to just disable them for that round, or really for a turn. They have to re-enable. Whatever, we're getting in the weeds. Calm down. Or it lets you remove this from the game, which is super cool. What's that called? That's called neutralizing, and that helps you win some objectives. You got some special things like escape pods and pits and things and buildings, whatever, bunkers. Oh my goodness, so many things. Civilians and prisoners. Where are you? There you are. Civilians, prisoners, doors. Oh yeah, mechs. So the most important thing, how do you win the game? I guess I should have gone there first. I never do. Look at the scenario. Scenario 1. Do you know what that means? That means there's more. That's right. There's 8 scenarios, which means there are 4 boards. That's right. This isn't a paper book. 4 boards, 2 sides to every board. Each scenario has its own setup and its own objectives. So like this one, the beginner one, is pretty simple. Control 5 objective points. So get your little marker things like this on an objective point. Control 5 of those, or neutralize 3 of the opponent's units. And it just looks so cool. I love the futuristic, whatever. Play the game, enjoy. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I never want to play it, but it's here actually, because I've played it many times, because it's well designed. It's a great game. This is Dune Imperium Uprising, designed by Paul Denon, and the lead artist, the first name is Clay Brooks, so that's who get it. As far as the publisher, I'm going to let him fight it out. Is it Direwolf? Is it Legendary? I don't know. As far as the story, well, it's a book. It's a really big book. Read the book. It's Dune. Or watch the movies. I haven't seen the second movie yet, but I hear so many good things about it. And it is, if not the most, one of the most popular strategy games out there right now. The reason I wanted to pick it is because this game is stressful, it's tight, a lot of choices in itty bitty litty space. I hate it. You should play it. Let's go to an overview. Oh yeah, 1 to 4 players, or 6 players, but never 5. I know, right? A lot of beige. Hey, it's cool. This one's a pretty quick run through. This game is both deck builder and worker placement, with a war going on in the middle, and big scary sandworms, which it's worth mentioning. So this right here is Dune Imperium Uprising, as opposed to Dune Imperium. Dune Imperium Uprising adds these sandworms and other expansion parts that we won't be talking about today. So if you just remove the sandworms, that's basically Dune Imperium. If you're only going to get one, just start with Dune Imperium Uprising. Anyway, on your turn, you are going to have cards in your hand, and you get to play those cards. Play the card. Place an agent in a matching space. Then you have to pay the cost of the card if there is one, and you have to pay the cost of the space. Sometimes that means you're going to have to drop water or money or meet a prerequisite. After you lose like every precious thing you own, then you get to pick from the benefits on the space where you place the worker and the benefits on this fun little beige, shocker, box on the card. You might gain benefits like spice, or if you look over here, you might get to go up in reputation. All of these benefits are toward the goal of, slide it on down here, Jack. There we go. Hello, over there, there we are, of going up in your victory points, right? So whoever has the most at the end of the game is the one that wins. The victory point track can go up and down. You can make others lose victory points while you gain them, and vice versa. Get out of here, Spice. Another option, instead of playing a card for an action, is to end your turn, basically passing, but it's called something else. It's called, what is it called? Recall? Reveal. It's called Reveal. So then any cards left in your hand, you look only at the reveal at the bottom, and they give you special benefits. These are like influence points, which can be spent to buy cards in the market. Cards in the market are going to have a cost, so this would cost 3. So you don't get to save these or anything, so I'd need to have 3 if I wanted to buy this card. Then you get rid of those. They're no longer useful. And now this will end up in your hand later. But you've also got these combat bonuses down here. So let's go straight to what happens after everybody does their reveal phase. You go to combat. So when you're taking actions, you have a chance to put troops into your garrison. Then, if you ever place your worker on a space like this with swords on it, you can move some of your troops into the battle. So that all happens during your turn phase. So let's say I put 3 of my troops into battle. Your opponent would have done the same. Maybe you even got yourself this scary hook thing that lets you place a sandworm that you ran into during your turn phase. Maybe during the turn phase I also got some intrigue cards, right? Which I can play during different phases, including, in this case, combat. So let's look at this combat. All right, so I've got 3 troops and a sandworm, and I'm going to tally these up to see my combat power. All right, so basically, each sword is worth 1. So I'd be like, all right, I got 1 combat power. Cool. Each cube is worth 2. So let's add 6 to that. Each sandworm is worth 3. Cool, so I'm at 10. Your opponent's going to do the same and move their marker up, but it's not over yet. Then you can reveal a plot card, or what are these called? Intrigue cards, if you would like, and use it for something. In this case, I'll use it for 3 swords. Cool, so my power is at 13 now. Get up there. My opponent will do their thing, and whoever has the most wins that combat round. And the benefits are listed. Every round is going to have benefits revealed. And if you're in first place, you get this, so you get to take your reputation up with a faction over here. And a great thing about that is that gives you victory points and also opportunities for more spaces and more resources to gain. Second place will get something a little bit less, and third place gets barely anything. You lose all the troops and stuff that you put into the battle. You've got all the different factions from the story in here. This is an expansion, an optional add-on. I honestly haven't played with it yet. Same with this one, optional expansion add-on. But up here, you've got the money people. What is this? The Landsrad Council. Yeah, so you can get another worker and just all kinds of benefits from the council. Then you've got Imperial Scary People. They give you some good troops. Same with the Hayliner. What is this? The Spacing Guilds. Bene Gesserit are just super weird, so they give you super weird stuff, and then water and all kinds of goodies from the local Fremen. Oh yeah, every player gets to pick a leader. They play as a leader of a house, and they're all asymmetrical with their own unique abilities. On the flip side, there's your little cheat sheet. But if you want to play solo, you're going to pick a rival. They all have different challenge difficulties that you're going to play against. You're going to have a rival in a solo game and a 2-player game. So it's always a 3-player game. Right? A solo game is a 3. It's been a long time since I did it solo. Was it 3 players or 2 players? Whatever. You have an AI opponent in a 1-player and a 2-player game. We're going to get through this. House Haggle is the AI deck. You flip it over, it tells you what the AI opponent is going to do. The first person to cross the threshold to 10 victory points there triggers the end of the game. Then you count any end game points, you go up and down and whatever, and whoever's at the top wins. But enough about war. Let's go into space again and explore. That's right, SETI. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and yes, it's out there. I am one. Just kidding. SETI is published by Czech Games Edition, also known as CGE. We've got Tomas, I believe it's Tomas Holek as the designer. And who's the first artist? It looks like Jacob Pulitzer. Is that the same one as Scythe? I don't think so. Or maybe it's Jakub. But there are many artists involved. Anyway, in this game, each player becomes one of their own like space exploration companies, kind of sort of, except you're not really competing for money. You're competing for prestige in order to go into the furthest reaches of the solar system. That's right, you stay in our solar system to look for alien life, and you just might find it. I chose this one because it doesn't really involve any battle. It's just that very enjoyable establishing your drones and satellites and upgrading them, expanding out and exploring in the universe. Windstorms coming fast. Great. That's awesome. Cool thing in SETI, so we are in our own solar system. That's right, and this thing spins around the sun, all three of these. So they rotate at different times. Sometimes you rotate this one, then you rotate that's number 3, then number 2. Anyway, pretty cool rotations. That part makes me happy. Main part of the board. What you are doing is you are going to be, on your turn, you're going to have cards in your hand, and you're able to take one action. That action can be playing the card and resolving it for the text here. There are also free actions with cards, so instead of playing this, you could discard it for this top right benefit. In this case, it means that I would place a signal in a yellow sector. You get to place signals throughout the game in order to catch data and, just explore space. Let's spin it here so you can see it. There we go. So there's some signals placed. But if you don't want to play a card, there are other actions you can pick. Again, you just get one action per turn and then however many free actions you want. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different actions to pick from here. Each one has a cost. So like to do this one, I would have to launch a probe, I would have to spend 2 money. No big deal. To send a signal, I'd have to pay 1 money and 2 energy. You collect money and energy from the way you play your cards and gather income. But let's say I want to do this one. I'm going to send a signal. What? That's my victory point. I want a satellite. Give me a satellite. I get to send a satellite out from Earth. Awesome. I can do free actions to do things like move around. So I would only need 1 energy and I get to move this to Mars for free. So let's say it's another turn and I want to either go into orbit around a planet like Mars or land on Mars. I'm just destroying the world. Well, Mars is way up there. So let's pretend we landed on Jupiter. So let's say I want to go into orbit. Then I would pay that cost. In this case, what is it? 1 money, 1 energy as my 1 action, and I would get to go into orbit. I'm going to gain victory points for that. This game, whoever has the most victory points wins. Super cool, and you get some benefits as listed. In this case, data, income, and launch a signal. Instead of that, though, I could have chosen, or after I do this, I can choose as an action on a different turn to land on Jupiter, and then I get that benefit and any others listed. Moons are a lot harder to land on. You got to research special tech to get there, but they're quite valuable. But do you know what I'm doing? Getting lost in the weeds as usual. As another action, you can choose to launch a signal. I think I keep talking about. This is how you collect data. So I would pick a section that matches whatever card. Let's pretend it said blue, or in this case, I get to launch a signal wherever Earth is, in the sector with Earth, or in a sector on my card. Don't worry about it. Let's pretend it's this one, okay? So I'm going to launch a signal, which means I take the data, put it in my pool, and place my signal. If I get the majority of signals here, because other players can place stuff there, it's cool. I'm going to get special benefits once we fill this up. The gains are listed right there. So what you going to do with all that junk in your trunk right here, all this data, right? Well, as a free action, you can place data onto your computer board. So I can do that at any time, and each time you cover a spot, you gain that benefit. So this would gain me 1 publicity. Well, look at that. Place them all there. That's going to gain me 1 income. Awesome. Once you fill all 6, then another action that you can take on your turn for your 1 action you can remove all this data in order to gain this benefit here. Research aliens and gain what? Oh no, pay 1 energy to do this research alien thing. Because aliens exist. Or they don't. I don't know. And the other cool thing is you can research technology. Remember that publicity thing? Let's see if I can go over there. Ooh, don't get dizzy. See those orange things in the bottom left? I don't have enough hands. Yep. So if my little microphone, you see that microphone over there, and you see my feetsies, sorry. Anyway, once you get to number 6 right off screen there, once you get to number 6, you can spend 6 of those, I could call them popularity or like public knowledge, whatever it is. Spend 6 of them and you get to get an upgrade to one of your technologies, right? So we've got launching and the signals and the computer. So I picked this one here. And I'm going to place my upgrade. Now I have a permanent benefit for the rest of the game. You've also got missions, like private missions on some of your cards, where if you complete that, you keep it for the rest of the game, and you're going to get more victory points. You've got randomized common objectives, at least 4 in it, well, just 4. In every game that you fight for like the majority, so whoever has the most of whatever this is asking for, the alien research technology, gets the most points, 2nd place, 3rd place, and so on. This crazy doodle moves every single round, so if you were like, I'm planning on moving here, well, in the next turn, it might change, and you're like, oh no. Then, of course, every game has 2 random alien species out of 4 picked, so 2 will always be in play. At least 2. Nah, pretty sure it's only 2. Anyway, research enough and you get to flip it over, and now you have new benefits to gain for the rest of the game. Not only that, they come with their own unique rule set. That's right, each of the 4 has their own rules that they add once they come into play. They have their own deck of cards. It's a hot mess. Actually, it's organized, but yeah, it's a lot. Oh boy howdy. And then of course you got your AI opponents. So they have their own deck. You flip over a card, you do the top whatever row is applicable first. That's what they do. And cool thing is the AI board is just the flip side of the player board. I think there's a lot more. Who cares? That was great. My ladies and my gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with me. What games would you add to this list for must-have strategy board games? Are these ones too easy, too hard, too much in the middle? You tell me. I love you all. I'll see you next time.